Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Can We Talk R&B podcast
Yeah.
um, with your host, Nnamdi, and myself, Omar. We are
Yes, yes.
excited to start another day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess there's people might say where to start, and I think there's probably no better place than the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes, yes. Super Bowl was last night. Who won?
The Rams, but but what
Darn it.
the
I wanted
buzz?
Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio, so
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, but
And yeah, I mean, as I said, I've always known the Bengals have been the team of, never making the playoffs and getting this far. So it was, yeah,
yeah.
it would have been great for them to go through. But anyway, but for us, it's really the halftime show, which
Yes,
they really
that's been the
built
talk of
up.
the town.
They really built up for a while. Dre, Eminem, Snoop,
Hmm.
Kendrick Lamar, and Mary. And they had a special feature with 50 Cents. But I just wanted to
Yes.
get I mean, we'll probably break this into different sections, but what was your overall impression of the halftime show?
It was fun, I guess. I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I felt like, without the dancers, I mean, the dancers made the whole show. Like, I
Mm,
didn't think any performances were like, out, really great. I just felt like it was well choreographed. It's like a great stage. Whoever designed the sets, it was just smart. It was really entertaining. And I think the dancers really are the ones that should be getting paid the millions of dollars the show they put on. But I mean, I thought it was just cool from how they went from like segment to segment of artists,
yeah.
and they had like their two songs that they did, or one or two songs, and that was it was a nice blend.
Mm.
um it was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best one I've ever seen, but or
Yeah.
super halftime song I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining. I love the songs. Like, they played all my favorite songs.
Naturally.
So I with Mary, I guess I was a little disappointed with Mary's performance a little bit. I couldn't tell if she was lip syncing or not, but I don't know. I just didn't. She just kind of seemed out of place to me.
Well, okay, the show was produced by Jesse Collins, who
Hmm.
produced the Pastor Mike on BT. He's now sort of one of the main sort of like a Dick Clark kind of stuff. He's taken a lot of those stuff and he does a number of different shows on BT, like
Hmm.
the Soul Train and stuff like that. So that's why it was a well put together show with the
Right.
production
Definitely well put
and the
together.
dancers and everything. I think there was this sense of, okay, yes, this is it, and it it's there wasn't. I realized that hip hop artists don't give you the type of energy and excitement when they're performing without a proper audience, a crowd.
Yeah.
So it
Hmm.
felt like, okay, you got all the dancers and they're rapping, but it just felt like there was no vibe because the people in the audience, they're so far away. And I think if it was a festival or and you had the people rocking, I think
Hmm.
they'd feed off of that. And so,
Right.
strangely enough, the two people I felt did the best job were Kendrick Lamar. He just seemed
Yes, he
like he had
was
his dances
absolute.
and did his stuff. And I think Mary, to some extent, actually, to some extent, I thought if it was Mary's Super Bowl, because they only get 12 and a half minutes, I think she
Hmm.
could have just hit a number of her songs with her dances and probably might have done it well. I think they spent too much time on
Uh,
50 Cent. I think they gave him
I
too much
I
airplay.
disagree slightly
Okay.
though. I feel like with Mary, okay, she did Family Affair, which I thought was appropriate. It was a Dre produced track,
Yeah.
but then she went into No More Drama. I just thought that was a bad song choice for the Super Bowl. I think that she should have kind of kept it upbeat, and that song just didn't really. I don't know, but I thought she looked gorgeous. I thought she looked really nice. I thought
Yeah.
she performed well, even though I felt she was a little kind of eclipsed a little bit. I do feel like she kind of did not come off as the main attraction as a Beyonce would come off, as certain artists would kind of draw the attention. She did do well, but I just felt like it was. I don't know. I mean, she did okay.
You know,
I just felt like I was missing the energy a little
they
bit.
only have 2.5 minutes because you think of there's five. There were
Hmm.
five of them there because you'd forget, and then you add in 50 cents, which was six. The show itself is 13 minutes at most. So remember,
Hmm.
five divided by 30, that's 2.5 minutes at most. That's it that they get. So
Which,
in
yeah.
so that's why, in a sense, it just didn't. It just if they were all,
Well, she didn't have enough. I think she should be able to do. She actually, I think she's had the career where she could actually do a Super Bowl show herself.
yeah, if
Mary, she's had a lot of hits.
Bruno Mars could
Yeah.
do it, I think if
Right.
Jennifer Lopez could do a Super Bowl
Right.
halftime, or even Justin Timberlake, she's outsold all of them, and she has more hits and more catalogs. I
Right.
think she's shown that if she was given the show and she could have brought in, say, Method Man or Little
Well,
Kim, she could have brought in
I don't.
Diddy.
Has she outsold Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah,
I
but
don't know,
Jennifer
but
Lopez hasn't released it. You know, she's outsold
I mean,
Jennifer.
maybe. I mean,
She's
I'm going.
outsold
Well,
J
she's
Lo.
not the only one that kind of disappointed me a little. I felt like Eminem came out. He only did one song, I think, and it was just kind of like it was low energy compared to everyone else. Kendrick Lamar stole the show. Kendrick Lamar did the best. I like Dre's part two, and I like Snoop. But they kind of did the same thing they always do. I felt like Kendrick Lamar was a part of it. Like he was in there doing some of the dance steps and he was kind of in the midst of everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So it was entertaining though. I mean, overall, every song I knew that's a good thing. I knew every song. I could sing along and rap along to every song. So it was really entertaining to watch. Um, I give it a B plus as far as my grading. I feel like it was pretty entertaining. You know, it's not my
yeah.
favorite halftime show, but it's up there in the top 13. No, I'm playing. It's up there in the top top 5, I'll say, and that I've seen recently.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite is, yeah, because we did a
Yeah, what do you think?
I did a well, I think there was I watched it and I thought, nah, I actually thought Mary and Kendrick, I said, and I
Yeah.
like, as I said, I
I
like
mean,
the
overall,
songs.
they did do well. They did do
Yeah, I
well.
like the
Mary did.
songs that Dre and Snoop did, and I can barely remember Eminem stuff. But I felt that it's and people are saying, yep, everyone's happy, this, black hip hop is took center stage. Um, but I do feel that I think they lacked the atmosphere to create
Mm,
the real, the crowd being in, because if you'd seen, so Coldplay, one of the best, when they performed, and they had Bruno Mars and Beyonce, um, but they did what Michael Jackson did, and get um, volunteers of
yeah, people.
fans
Yeah.
around, so it felt like a concert. So they fed off that. We fed off the fans in there. They were so high up and so detached from everything that it just felt like they were, and the stadium was massive. So it felt,
Yeah.
I think that was missing. So it didn't feel as if they got the energy they needed to really show that they put on a good show. So, and I
Well,
think
you did
50,
play the weekends. Recently, you've been showing clips from different
yeah,
past halftime shows, and the weekend did something similar where he kind of had everything kind of blocked off, and he had all of his dancers and everything.
yeah,
This
that was
big
pandemic
elaborate
though.
dance number.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
pandemic issue. They had that
yeah.
pandemic. That was so he was restricted with that. Um, but as
So,
I
what do you
said,
think the reason is that they chose to do that then? Why do you think that they chose to separate the crowd and so far back from the
so
actual
I
production?
think what they've said is that some states still have the whole mask laws, and it's still they still have those type of issues. And so I think for the moment, while they're still in that transition out of the pandemic, um, it was probably part of the reason. Maybe security. This is Los Angeles, so
Mm.
you just don't have.
Well, do you think it was live or do you think it was pre-taped?
No, 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 no. It would be live because they do have they would always do it live. Whether they're singing or rapping with their live vocals, that's a different case. Um,
Mm.
just because even if they can sing and perform live, um, they may decide, look, man, because we want this to help boost our album sales and stuff. We might want your pre-recorded vocals. to get the optimate sound. Um, but I recently saw Prince's stuff, and he was live.
Hmm.
He didn't. People like Coldplay, they were singing live. So I just think for them, as they suffered from not having the crowd. For hip hop, they
The
need
crowd,
the energy.
yeah,
They need to
they
feed
need
off
the
of that.
energy.
And I think
But when they
I
did
felt that
pan
way.
to the audience, I did see the audience kind of into it. So they were into it,
Yeah,
But it's just so detached from us as a viewing audience. We needed to see,
the
you know.
crowd, as I said, so
Yeah.
I saw the documentary on the Michael Jackson's Super Bowl, and
Mm.
they showed prior to that they used to just have they used to do like a circus stuff. It was nothing big, and in fact, people used to switch off to, I think, in Living Color and other channels. The halftime show was pretty much you just go get your drinks and come back, and they
Mm.
realized that they lost their halftime show to Fox's in Living Color. So they said, okay, this year we need to do something big. And that's when they thought about getting the biggest star, and they got Michael. He
Right.
said he wants $1 million. They said, no, we don't pay, but we will give 300,000 to your charity in Los Angeles, because that was 92, 90,
If I
92,
was Michael
93.
Jackson, I'd be like, I'm Michael Jackson.
No,
You're paying me.
they said, look, we don't
But
pay,
no.
but because of the LA
Yeah.
riots in '92, he had an LA Heal the World charity, so they said we'll give 300,000 into that. Pepsi said they'll give
Well,
another
that
half
was
a
good.
million into that. So they saw the
Yeah.
bigger commercials. They said he wanted to call it the Thriller Bowl. He didn't know what Super Bowl was. He wasn't really watching it and stuff.
He wasn't really into it.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't into it. And then what they mentioned is that um, when he they did the rehearsals, then when he came out on stage, he stood there for 1.5 minutes, and the
Hmm.
directors are saying, this is almost $50 million worth of commercials, because you're standing there. And he didn't realize he had a short period of time, but he says, it's amazing, because he says, just I want to soak up the energy. I just want to soak it in.
That's
And I
Michael.
remember I moved to the US in '92, so that was my first Super Bowl. And when I watched it live, and I thought it was a robot or statue. I didn't think it was him, because he just stood there. I thought, where's Michael? Because he wasn't up in those two towers, and he was just standing there. And so until he moved his head. I thought, oh, it's really
Right.
him. But before, he stood there, and I'm thinking, wow, that's really.
Michael. Ooh.
He just
Michael's
stood
the only artist who's ever lived that could stand there for 5 minutes still
there.
and then take off his glasses
Glasses, yeah. That
and
was.
then stand there for another 2 minutes and everybody's literally losing
They
their
only had
mind,
12 and a half
passing out.
minutes, and he's
But
just doing the whole thing. But he said he wanted to feel, so he got volunteers to be in the
yeah,
crowd so he can get feed off of that and stuff.
yeah,
That was 31 years ago. And I did a
yeah.
poll. I said, guys, what was your favorite? I put Michael, Prince, I put Beyonce, Bruno, and I put this one. And almost 40% still says Michael, because he was the first one to do it. So he didn't have the luxury of watching Prince and watching Janet
Right. He
and
set
watching
the
everyone,
precedence.
and then says, okay,
Right.
let me now modify what he just had to do, what he did. And so subsequently everyone else is doing their stuff. So um, I'm glad that they gave, the exposure to the black music. I think my issue is the fact that hip hop is such a mega.
Right.
It's part that they don't need any more exposure. I wish they'd given R&B. That's why I wish Mary had taken center stage, and she
Yeah.
could have featured um, other artists,
Another
Nas
R&B
and
artist.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe another R&B artist and stuff in there. So that would be my hope. But
But
Jay-Z's
I'm
the
glad
one
you
that.
touched on the black element of it because I felt like on the stage was black excellence. Like you saw, it was clearly all black artists, black
Yeah.
dancers,
Well,
clearly
minus Eminem.
choreographers. Minus Eminem, he got a pass. He black. No,
Yeah.
just play. No, yeah, Eminem, of course. The plus one. But everybody is like the court. You could just tell it's a black conceptualized show, and the way the dances and everything, it was just very unique from what
Yeah.
we're used to seeing. And like I said, I give it a B plus. I thought it was a pretty good show. With Mary, I won't, maybe I use disappointment is a strong word. I mean, I enjoyed it. I just wish she would have did Family Affair and maybe another up-tempo song like Love at First Sight or Just Fine or something up-tempo for the the momentum of the show. But overall, it was pretty good. I would like to hear what everyone else's thoughts is. So you know what? Leave a comment in the comment section, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of Can We Talk R&B podcast.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks again for watching, guys.
And before we go, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, and also remember to turn on the notification so you can know when we have another show. But thanks again.
That too.